Hello, my name is Paul Probst. I'm the inventor of the BlindSight units and the president of Jordan Catered Incorporated. What you see in front of you is a BlindSight E. What this video is about activating the BlindSight E when you get it, and it also is basically the same information you're going to need for changing batteries. So we're probably not even going to make a second video for this for changing batteries. When you receive the unit, you're going to have the unit itself. You're going to have a package of hardware, which includes all these rings here, includes nuts, bolts, clips, everything that you see on the outside, and the screws here. You're going to get spares for all of that, all stainless steel. This case is Zamac aluminum alloy, similar to what you might, like they make these days. They make gun parts out of that, and the rest is stainless because this is made to last a very long time. So we're going to get into how to activate this. All right. Also you'll have some pieces of paper, some instructions and stuff when you get this. To activate this is right side up, and pointing to the camera would be pointing towards the nose of the horse. We're going to flip this thing over on its back. All right. We're going to take 4 screws out that hold the bottom cover on. Now this is just a weather cover. It's normally this part is down. Okay, and in that position, this thing is rated. I think it's IP54 weather and drip proof or something like that. So it's not waterproof by any means. Immersion isn't going to work. But where this is mounted on the horse and the way it's usually mounted, immersion just isn't a problem. So we'll take the cover off. You notice the cover popped up, and that's because this thing is crammed with neoprene. And everything in here is pretty much wedged into neoprene for shock mounting. Now, this is when you open it up, this is what you're going to see. The circuit board wrapped up in neoprene. You're going to see these 2 little boxes of neoprene. All right? These are pretty simple. Here's a battery clip near this box. I'm going to connect that one. And which is, by the way, it doesn't matter. Right, left, up, down, doesn't matter. You can put either clip to either battery. It simply does not matter. Okay, I'm going to hook this one up, and as soon as I did that, I think the camera's probably picking up a nice ticking sound right about now. Okay? Now, all that's left at this point is to close the box back up. I'm not going to do that quite yet. I'm going to give you a little tour of the inside, but I'm going to tell you about that. When you go to put this on, you want to make sure there's no wires anywhere around any of these edges, especially this back one you have to watch out for. You put the lid on, okay, and it's popped up because of the neoprene. You're going to have to squeeze it down and hold it down to put the screws in. And I usually put in opposite screws like that, all right. Also, I recommend, this is from Harbor Freight, I think, Threadlock Semi-Permanent Blue. The stuff I really recommend is Loctite 242 Blue. That's Loctite 242 Blue. Those are they're both. I don't actually see much difference between them, but they're a blue jelly that's used to thread lock the screws, but they can be removed with a conventional tool. The red stuff, which is out there, that red Loctite, don't use that. Don't use super glue. You'll get these screws in permanently. You'll never get them out. The battery lasts a long time, but you're eventually going to have to change it. Now, one thing more I'll mention about batteries before we give you the tour here is that what batteries we ship with depends on where you are. If you're in Minnesota, somewhere like that, we're going to ship with lithium batteries. If you're somewhere else, we're going to ship with alkalins in it. There is an extra charge of just a couple of bucks for the lithiums. And if you are in Florida or somewhere you want lithiums, tell us. We'll put them in there. And like I said, it's just a couple of bucks. The lithiums have a couple advantages. The alkaline only works to -4 degrees, so if you're in a cold climate, alkalins will puke out if it gets very cold. Also, the lithium lasts 3 to 4 times as long, which means the alkaline's good for about a year. The lithium are good for anything up to 4 years. Okay, now let me give you a quick tour here. Up here, circuit board. I'm going to turn this around and I may just remove this a little, actually, so you can see. Can you see the little LED now?
Yes.
Yeah, it should show up well. we're not really wasting a whole lot of power there. That's part of a voltage regulator circuit, and that light you see is actually produced by about 20 microwatts. So it is not enough to really run the battery down to do anything for that. It's regulation current only. These white wires come up here. They go to the transducer. It fires against the bottom of the case. All right. In this black duct thing here that takes up most of the case, you see this big black thing in here. The signal, this uses compression mode technology. The transducer creates a compression wave. I know you hear this ticking, it doesn't sound like much, but it's a very rapid compression. It's firing into an extremely small cavity, which causes a compression wave to go up here. The compression wave inverts and comes out of both of these openings extremely directionally. It's going to go 45 degrees to the nose of the horse, extremely, like I said, extremely directionally. Neither one of these beams is terribly, terribly wide. And that way we have the audio doesn't get wasted on the chin. It goes out basically following the horse's eyes from a single transducer. Also, that puts the transducer far inside the case where it's protected, because as I'm sure any horse owner knows, everything a horse has needs to be replaced or protected, or both. Anyway, so now I'm going to close the case up now, and again, I'm looking for those wires. All right. Now, I'm not going to thread lock the screws. I'm not going to use any compound on them right now, because this unit will go to, this is actually a regular customer unit. It's off the shelf. It's going to go to a customer, and I don't want them to have to break the screws loose. Let them lock them in the first time they activate it. Actually, I'll have to open it one more time to deactivate it when we put it back on the shelf. We don't ship these activated. We're not even, it's really not a worry about battery life, because the battery life's so long. What we're worried about is the post office having a ticking package, or UPS or FedEx, or however it gets shipped in any particular instance. That could cause a few raised eyebrows, okay? So there we are. There's units ready to go. Hung this way, this way. Now I'm going to say a little bit. I'm not a horse person, so I'm not going to talk definitively about exactly how you mount it. Mike Cross is doing video on that, and he's done very good still pictures showing exactly how that works. I'm just going to say that you have normally this mounts from your tack in such a way. Well, I'm going to flip it so this way is forward for the horse. All right. If you look at the still pictures out there, you'll notice that when the horse is just standing there, the unit is slightly pitched down, about like that, just a couple of degrees. Now that's what we want to do. We want it scanning in front of the horse from maybe 5 feet in front of the horse to about 30 feet when the horse is standing. If the horse sees something in distance and raises his head, this is going to come up and point at the horizon, which is what we want. And if the horse is grazing or something like that and wants to look at the ground, it's going to be down like this, which again would give us what we want. How we get that angle is the rings. That's why all the different size rings. All right. The only real way we have, unless you move your strap stock on your tack around, the only other way we have to adjust the angle on this thing is the size of the rings. All right. So if you depending on where this piece is in here, you might have a smaller one here, a larger one here, and these here. It could be any combination. The rings we provide go all the way from 25 millimeter up to 40 millimeter, and also replacements are available on our site. So you're going to have enough to do the job, and you can get them from us pretty much anytime if you need it. Anyway, that's about it on the activation of the BlindSight E. This is the BlindSight for equines, BlindSight for horses. It's the BlindSight E. And have a very nice day.